And we are live. Hey everyone. It's great to have you all here today. Let's give a shout out of how many people are here. Uh, we can wait until 6:05 and then we can start. I guess that's okay. Apologies for my poor hairstyle. It's lockdown. Yeah, time is weird. Cool. So yeah, it's a very special day. The community was founded 2 years ago. We have Sid with us. Sid founded the community. I have been working with the community for a year and a half. We are expecting Sakshi to join the stream as well. So it's a great day to have you all around. The community has scaled so much, and there's so much that we've achieved and learned together. Um, and I really hope, yeah, you guys enjoy our conversation here today. Let's see. Sid, do you have anything to say? What are you up to? How are you
Uh,
spending your lockdown?
Good question. So lockdown is okay for me for now. Um, Not too bad, not too good. There are struggles with this lockdown as well. Like I've been used to work from home kind of a culture, but still, like the lockdown was like an enforced one where even on a weekend or even on during the evening you can't go out. So that was a bit disappointing, to be honest. Also, when it comes to work, then there's no segregation between work and personal life anymore. So that is one drawback, but it's okay. Like somehow you get used to it after a certain time. We've been here in this situation since March starting almost. So it's been more than like what, 3 months almost. Like it's about to be 3 months. So our internal mechanism has like kind of adapted. Like okay, it's part of life. You have to live with it somehow and go with it. Just that you have to maintain all the precautions, safety, and hygiene, which is good thing, of course. So yeah, lockdown is good. Honestly, you get to spend time with your family. You get to spend time with yourself as well. Work on things that you have never thought about, or those were like those pending action items. Like I've been wanting to do a lot of things like these sessions, live sessions from a long time, but due to continuous travel, I hardly used to get time to do these, talk to the community at large. So it's a good opportunity in itself for me as well to retrospect on things that I have done in past, do more things for the communities, and improve on it in future.
That really is inspiring. I mean, definitely we've seen you around, and you have been around for support in every form, and always, right? I mean, even before you joined GDG, um, after you, I mean, kind of transition to a different role, but then again, still you were contributing, right? So that has been amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's 6:05. I think we can start. So as I said, right? As I said on LinkedIn as well. If I was David Letterman, I would definitely call this show that my next guest needs no introduction. But no, because yeah, it's the Siddhant Agarwal. It's the way I see it, right? But for anyone who's watching this stream later sometime, right, say 5 years down the line, I'm definitely sure it would be much more easier than to recognize you online. But yeah, what would you tell them about yourself?
Okay. I have like lived in community as you had rightly described. Even I was like thoughtful for a moment. Uh, like where did I actually start my journey with communities? It's been more than 5 years, like rather beyond that as well. I started way back in 2014 when I started contributing. But if I look back on the journey where when I got associated with communities, it started way back in 2012. So it's been like almost 8 years when since when I have seen the communities, been associated with them. So I studied from University of Petroleum and Energy Studies in Dehradun. Back there in Dehradun, there is no developer culture. So, like we used to have just a college as the developer zone. That's it. So there was hardly any interaction with the IT industry. There was hardly interaction with the other developers in other colleges or in the vicinity of Dehradun itself. So I got to know somehow about an event by GDG New Delhi back then in 2012. That was happening in Delhi, of course. So in Delhi being my hometown, I live here. So I just came here to like meet my parents, spend some time with family, and also to attend that event. So I came down. So if I clearly remember, that was happening at Google office, like Noder office, um, and the event was on Android Code Labs. Uh, I was very fascinated about Android. I wanted to explore more on Android, so I just went, registered for it, got an invite, I attended that event, and that's where I started knowing, getting to know about the communities a more, little more. Following years like 2012, 2013, I like attended lot many events. So I used to come down from Dehradun every now and then to attend these events. To get to know, I attended. There was a G Day, G India Day, something of that sort, Google India Day, which happened. That actually blew. Like I was like awestruck with that. Um, that was one incident that changed me. Like, okay, the communities coming together, doing things. Although that was, I think, Google driven, but I got to know about communities much better. GDG Cloud, GDG New Delhi, Cloud New Delhi didn't exist back then. So yeah, that's where I started like attending more of these events. I started reaching out to these organizers of GDG New Delhi, got in touch with them, and that's then. Uh, but the actual contribution started way back in 2014 when I became Google Student Ambassador. So this Google Student Ambassador, which is now the program called as Developer Student Clubs. So I was one of the Google Student Ambassadors in my university. I represented my university to Google, conducted various events, hackathons, a bunch of interesting code labs, and stuff. So that's where I got in touch with GDG New Delhi organizers at that time. So at that time, Nishant and Vikram used to take care of GDG New Delhi. So I got in touch with them. I asked them like, "Hey, can you come over to my university and talk about Android? Can you talk about cloud?" So Nishant had an experience in Android, while Vikram had an experience in cloud mostly. So I asked them like, "Can you come over to my university and talk about the technology? It will help a lot of other developers also." Like I'm not an expert. I'll be very honest. I'm not an expert in Android and cloud back then. So I said like, "Can you come over?" So they graciously accepted the request and they said, "Yeah, sure, we can come over." That's where I got in touch with them. And then towards the graduation, like I was about to graduate in 2015. So Nishant asked me, "Would you like to be an organizer for GDG New Delhi?" Before that, he just gave me a task like, "Can you manage Google I/O extended event in 2015?" So that was like uh, my first instance of managing a independent event, like a community event independently. uh, and that's where I got more confidence in me. Like, okay, I can do this. I can, while I am associated with the community, I'm volunteering, I'm speaking. I can do better. I can do more things. I can like get in touch with more individuals, impact their lives as well. So I started there from there. But then soon after that, I had to move to Bangalore for my first job at IBM. So I had to politely decline that request because it wouldn't make sense for me to be in Bangalore and managing GDG New Delhi at the same time. So I said, okay, fair enough. We'll think about it at a later point of time. But still, like that contributing to the community aspect in me didn't go away. I started reaching out to GTG Bangalore folks and started contributing over there, attending meetups, volunteering, and stuff. And then somewhere in 2017 around, I came back to Delhi for good. So So I've been on and off to Bangalore and New Delhi for almost like 5 years now. Yeah, 2015 onwards. So um, 16 I came to Delhi, then I moved back to Bangalore in 2017, then I came back to Delhi for good. And that's when I decided like I have to be more engaged in the community. I have to do more things. And then in the interim, like in this duration of 2017 to 18, I'd also been contributing via Intel Software Innovator Program. So Intel recognized me as one of the individuals who has been contributing to the community, talking about various open source technologies like machine learning, IoT, and cloud. And that's where I had been contributing as a speaker. But 2018 is when I got to know about this GDG Cloud New Delhi, is starting these cloud communities in India. So I requested to apply for Cloud New Delhi, and that's when the journey started for Cloud New Delhi, GDG Cloud New Delhi. Back then, it was called as GCDC, Google Cloud Developer Communities New Delhi. That was the naming that when we started off in May 2018, like exactly 2 years ago, on this very day. Almost like it was past midnight. That's when I got a bit late in checking the meetup code which I got. So almost at the midnight, roughly around the midnight, I just like created a meetup account for GDG Cloud New Delhi, and that's where it came into existence since then. Yeah, that was a short, brief one about my journey with New Delhi, my journey with community. There's much more I want to talk about. If you can just switch to the deck.
I'll put your screen to stream.
Yes, just a short version of it. So these are few things that I wanted to just talk about in this particular session. So you all know my name now. So my name is Siddhant. Just reiterating upon it. I work with developer relations team at Google in India. That's what I do on my day-to-day basis. That's my job role. Uh, what we do at Google Developer Relations team, it's a very broad team. We basically enable and empower the Indian developer ecosystem to build impactful solutions using Google technologies that can bring change in the lives of the next billion users. Um, that's what we do. And before I talk more, I just want to take a moment and talk about the current COVID-19 pandemic. We started with that, like how the lockdown has been treating. So, but this COVID-19 pandemic has caused extreme amount of grief and panic in the entire world, and India is not an exception in that as well. We have been seeing this on the rise. But I just want to say this that we are all in this together, and we will win this together, and this too shall pass. So just till then, if request to all of you who are watching me live, till then, just stay safe, stay healthy, and stay indoors. I would urge everyone to stay indoors. I have barely stepped out of my home this time. Like in last 3 months, I had stepped like I think just 4 times to get the essentials. So yeah, make sure that you stay indoors as much as possible. Like try your best. With this, I would like to just talk about the programs that we engage with at developer relations team. Like these are some bunch of the names. I think some of you might be familiar with these names. GDG or GDG Cloud comes under one bucket, which is Google Developer Groups and Google Developers Groups Cloud Program, which are community-led groups of developers who are interested in Google's developer technology. These groups conduct in-person meetups with demos, talks, both small, large. They sometimes do activities like code sprints and hackathons. I just want to run everyone through these programs so that those who are not familiar with any of these programs get to know about them as well. So that's GDG and GDG Cloud, the community-led program that we are part of this session as well. Then there's a program called Developer Student Club. This is the program I was referring to, which was earlier named as Google Student Ambassador Program way back in 2014 and 15. I think 15 to 14, 15 was the last batch of this GSA program. That's when the program got into some revamp, and then now Now it's rebranded as Developer Student Clubs, which is essentially like university-based community groups. That's what we used to do. Like as students who are interested in Google's developer technology, those who are from undergrad or postgrad courses, um, they want to grow as a developer, are welcome in these sessions. So by joining a DSC, like students grow their knowledge in a peer-to-peer learning environment. They build solutions for local businesses and their community. Uh, even during GSA days, we used to do the same thing. Like we used to help the local businesses, local communities, and that's what the intent has always been about DSC program, to come up with local solutions, with of course peer-to-peer learning environment. And then the third one, which is very close to me again, Google Developer Experts Program. This is the program that I take care of in India, and that's very close to me. Consider it more like my baby right now. These are global network of highly experienced technology influencers who actively support developers. These are like uh, these supports developers, companies, or communities globally. And these are not Google employees. These are independent volunteers that do not work for at Google or for Google at any capacity. Uh, Another interesting program is Gfs Accelerator, Google for Startups Accelerator. If you have ever heard of the term Launchpad by any chance before, this was the program. So the Launchpad program is just rebranded as Google for Startups Accelerator program now, which is Google's global acceleration program. It helps startups build and scale great products and companies by connecting them with the best of Google. That is, its people, its network, its thought leadership, and technology. So we help startups scale further in these areas, in product management, product design, technology, bunch of things. So we do these boot camps with these selected set of startups as part of GFS Accelerator program. Then there is Women Techmakers program. IWD India is happening as of now, as I speak. Like we just did 2 days of IWD India 2020. Women Techmakers program engages over 100,000 plus women in tech across 190 countries each year. This program provides visibility, community, and resources for women in technology across all career levels. So anyone who wants to learn, upskill themselves, get more visibility on the work that they're doing, they're most welcome. This helps in driving innovation and participation in the industry. Yes. I had already talked about the experts program, so I will skip this for now. Just to let you know, we have 49 GDEs in India. These are GDEs across Android, machine learning, cloud, Flutter, Firebase, Assistant, payments. I'm forgetting something. I don't know. Yeah. So there are like bunch of categories these GDs are part of. 49 GDs exist in India. If you want to get connected with them, head over to developers.google.com/experts/directory. And if you would want to become a GDE, we're more than happy to have you in the part of the GDE family. So, as a GDE, first and foremost thing I would request is if read out on this developers.google.com/experts, and also read this one pager, which like gives you a quick and short summary on the GDE program, bit.ly/GDE hyphen one pager. Everything in small caps. So check these two links, developers.google.com/experts and bit.ly/GDE hyphen one pager. So these two will give you a clarity in terms of what GDEs do, how many GDEs are there across the globe, what kind of activities they do, why they became a GDE, and so forth. Just to put it in a nutshell, like these are the three things that we look for in a GD, like their in-person impact, the speaking engagements, community engagement, the mentorship they do, content creation, their forum participation, project portfolio. Now, if you ask me like which one of these, it's all three of them. And are we looking for just technical experts? No, we are looking for technical experts plus community contributors. So it's a combination of both. What are the categories currently open? So that's a list of categories on the top of the slide. Angular, Android, Dart/Flutter, Firebase, G Suite, GCP, Kotlin, ML, payments. So if you feel that you have expertise in any of these categories, you feel that, hey, I've been contributing to the community in these categories from a long time. I think that I fit the bill. I fit the criteria. uh, Share your interest in this form. So the down below, you can find this form, bit.ly/indiagd-interest form. So fill this quick form, and someone from the team, basically, I'll be reaching out to you in short while. Yeah, and or maybe just scan this QR code. It will land you directly to this Google Forms. So yes, if you think that yes, you have these technical expertise, you have the community contributions around that particular category, feel free to fill this form or reach out to me. Now, you asked about my journey with communities. I would like to just take quick 2 minutes and talk about like how communities have really helped me. Like I talked about my journey as a big picture, but there's more to it. When I started my career in 2015, that's when the professional career started basically for me. And since then, both personal and professional life of mine have gone through various ups and downs like a roller coaster ride. What one thing had remained constant with me throughout the journey in my personal and professional is my engagement with communities. While there's one side of the developer communities I've been associated with, I was also associated with a startup community called Head Start Network Foundation, and that's my extended family as well. Another extended family, I will rather say. So one of my extended family is my GDG family, and another one is my Head Start Network Foundation family. So Head Start family helped me basically working closely with startups. I can contribute to the startup ecosystem as well. I started with Head Start in 2016-17 around. That's when I started with Head Start, and I got lots of friends, families. This is one pick from the India Community Summit last year. I truly miss all these summits, the in-person interactions. Being stuck at home, these interactions. When we get together in person, face to face, we interact. But nonetheless, like we have been continuing doing this in a virtual environment as well, through these AMAs and these sessions, or through this like casual video chats and so on. These friends and family have helped me throughout these last couple of years, like last half a decade now. I got connected to a lot of people throughout this journey with DS. I have seen the DSC program since it got rebranded. I was part of GSA program also. So I had seen the various phases of these programs. So, but one thing uh, that is important, or this underlying factor for these community is the the people, uh, the driving force behind them, uh, the community organizers, as I say, people who are trying to bring that change. So you should, like, be it a smaller community, be it a larger community, those who have reached like scaled new heights, be it anyone, this small group who is thoughtful, who is committed, this is what can change. That this is what can bring the change, and that's what the best part about communities I like. Uh, like when we reached 1,000 developer community groups, I was so happy. Like across the globe, we had been able to reach 1,000+ developer communities. This happened last year, and one of the communities, of course, are GTG Cloud New Delhi, and that's where the journey started for me as well, to be like an organizer and contribute in an organizer role. Although that stint was fairly of a small duration, like if I talk about the journey from 0 to 5,000, still counting. I started this in May 2018, May 24, 2018. We reached 1,000 members in August 2018. I had asked Vishal, who was one of the co-organizers, to like support me over there in that time. And in January 2019, when I was planning to step down, I got uh, I got an offer from developer relations team. I wanted to join there, so I had to step down. I had Pranay, who's over here, to back up this community and take forward things. That's where we touched roughly 2K developers. And within just like 5 months, Pranay was able to scale it to new heights. He got Sakshi, he got Amin, he got other bunch of volunteers with him and created a good dedicated team of 6 volunteers and reached 3K members at Meetup. And this was I'm talking about last year in May 2019, like almost like 12 days before our first anniversary. That's where we were able to touch the 3K mark. And believe me, like I was presenting a similar edited version of this particular same slide. It was 0 to 3,000 still counting at that time. When I was updating the numbers, believe me, every 1 minute there was a spike of almost like 20 to 30 members. And by the time, since last night, like the day before the anniversary, until till the day, um, I had to update this slide deck almost 4 times because the number was just increasing every now and then. And from there, just again similar to what we did last year. Rather, Pranay and his leadership team could do it. The team was able to scale it to 5,000 meetup members in April 2020. That was a huge achievement for them to scale to this new heights. Sakshi was promoted as the co-organizer of the team. They also got Webhub to join the team. So these are the things that happened. That was last year. Sorry. Yes, during
Sakshi
the
was promoted as a co-organizer last year.
yes, that's correct. So like
Last
during
year,
this
same day.
last year, yes. So yeah, 5,000 plus members, and now they are at like 5,304 members, and it's still counting in. And that makes me super happy to see the way this community is going, and that's why like I am very close to GDG Cloud New Delhi. Honestly, like although you can see me, I am very biased to it, but yes, I am because of the sheer dedication that the entire team has put in. That also mesmerizes me. And that's not all. Like they have been able to do like 26 events, 20 offline. Even in the current times, they were able to do 6 online events, which is an amazing thing. 30 plus speakers have spoken in last 2 years at various events. 6,000 plus developers they have been able to reach out to, and they have been able to get in touch with, like they have impacted the lives of almost 2,700 plus in developers in person. And of course, like I really enjoy the events of GDG Cloud New Delhi. They have a unique fun element in each of them. The team makes it like fun and lively. These events, these are like not the usual boring code labs or just the meetups that you would ever think of. These are like much better than the other. And I'm really hopeful that hopefully this year itself, if COVID-19 goes away and we are able to resume back to our in-person strategy. And this brings me to an interesting point of what we did last year. So we had bunch of fun and celebrations last year. We had this amazing cake. We did this ideathon on bringing handicrafts business online. There were like almost 12 teams. Correct me if I'm wrong. 12 teams who presented their AMP stories. So these were the folks. These kids didn't knew how to use AMP. They didn't knew about AMP at all. Accelerated mobile pages, if you don't know. So they created these AMP stories, and thanks to Saurabh for taking up this quick session. Like he was able to train them in like what 45 minutes, 30 45 minutes, and and the and the stories that they presented these 12 teams, it was fantabulous. Like amazing presentation. I was not expecting these amazing crisp stories, these amazing graphics that they will use. So great effort over there. We had this amazing cake and celebrations. We had we had a Coca-Cola party over there. Not exactly a Coca-Cola party. It was more of like a drinks, cocktails, not cocktails, rather mocktails drink party. Sorry, my bad. So yeah,
We have
we
soft beverages and nachos, samosas,
yes,
sandwiches.
we had a total different concept that time. It was cloud drinks to be precise. So we had Coca-Cola, we had lime, we had orange, and what else we had?
We
We
mixed
had
everything for the
universal
for
water.
you.
We had
Yeah.
universal water, and we had dew. So yeah, that was an amazing. So I really missed that last year celebration. I am like I can clearly remember what it was like. This year we couldn't make it, but yeah, nonetheless, hopefully next year we will be able to do it. And that's a short one. And if you would like to connect with Meetup, like GDG Cloud Daily, these are few of the channels: Meetup, Twitter. Contribute to the GitHub. They have been doing amazing things in GitHub. Contribute to the GitHub channel as well. Write blogs on Medium. So I think one of the volunteers' blog is soon going to be live as well. I am just disclosing this, taking the liberty disclosing it. Uh, yeah. With this, let me wish the entire team happy second birthday to you, folks. Congratulations on the second year anniversary, and hope this goes on and on and on. And I hope I'll be part of all of these birthdays in future as well. Yeah. And lastly, I would like to thank the entire team who's behind the efforts. You, of course, Sakshi, Amin, Weber, Vishal, have been putting their efforts tirelessly. I have been seeing the conversations you folks have. Uh, Really, really great, and kudos to you all for putting in these efforts out of your day job. Yeah. So yes, so this let's bring on the celebrations and let's open the doors for any questions.
Oh, that was amazing presentation. I mean, there's so many things hitting me in my head, right? I mean, I could recall things that happened, the way things have panned out, how many people have contributed, how many volunteers have contributed. This does not even account for the speakers that we were a part of a grander celebration at our last F Fest, or maybe the Cloud Community Day that happened. But then there were so many people from across the globe. Right, in that way, if you start counting, this number of speakers goes on to, I don't know, like 60, 70. It's just been an amazing journey. And you start counting the designers that put in every graphic that we bring in today. There's an entirely, like, this is some discussion that Arpan and I have a lot. Arpan, Shilpa and I have a lot, that the design team at GDG New Delhi, or at GDG ecosystem within New Delhi, is a class apart. Uh, we have Rohan, we have Aman. There are people that are coming up and have been contributing actively, like Arindra, Vanchita. There are people like um yeah, there's Samrat, there is Ujwal. There's so many people. I'm sorry if I'm missing out, but the design team that we have curated right now, and they're so happy and passionate people, always ready to contribute at any instance. That has been amazing, and that it definitely gives an edge to what the kind of contributions that we have had. And people have been very active when we start counting volunteers. There are students, and there are people who are working and still able to contribute uh, in every way. There are people that turn up at every event to contribute, regardless of where they live. I've seen people coming from Noida to simply come to Gurgaon so that they can just give. And there's this something very special. So I once was invited to Calcotia's University, right? And that is in Greater Noida. This is something that I really want to point out. There are people from Calcotia's University that there are people from Golgotia University that start off at 6 a.m. in the morning and reach here by 11. And that is, I realize that it really takes them 5 hours to come here to simply contribute, and then they have to leave early so that they can go back. That is really endearing to me, because so many people from there. I mean, there's Divyans, there's Piyush. I can recall so many people right now. The contributions are, I mean, can't it cannot be expressed in words. Um, Again, Arinder and Manchita, who are from a design team, also contribute. Are also from Gulgotia. So they, I mean, amazing band of people that we have there. Um, then there's Kautuk, who has been active with us for more than 2 years, and always a reliable person to call on to, um, always contributing, regardless of any help. You can just text him anytime you need anything. So many people have helped us manage throughout. It's been a great journey. I mean, definitely. Uh, Thank you to the entire team that has been here, especially, that's especially Sakshi, Aman, um, Vishal, Vaibhav, all these people that keep bringing in ideas and kind of events that we can do. And of course, right, your contribution, even though it's on the other side, but I have a set of questions regarding that, and what then. You're always someone that I can definitely look up to for when ideas go haywire, or we don't realize what's going on. uh, and it's just you're just able to bring in so much to the community, even when from a very different angle, and it's a beautiful feeling, right?
So
I think we don't have any questions. I have a lot of questions.
feel free.
Do
Yes, more than happy.
Cool. Let's start off.
Yes.
So, Sid, you said that you started out. You have had an interesting career with machine learning. Just talk briefly about that, and then we can move on to, because you talked, you just expressed a lot. So I'll just narrow it down and cut to what, yeah,
Yeah. So
what you haven't said.
honestly, my career didn't start I didn't start my career specifically in machine learning domain. Honestly, um, I started with Java technology. Uh, when I joined IBM, it was IBM Java Technology Center, where they had their own IBM Java to put in that small brief. And we used to do parallel programming, multi-threaded programming back then on IBM Java, using IBM Java. We used to test the load on the NVIDIA GPU graphics back then. Uh, so when I left IBM and joined this company, Be Ahead, I was I was asked to do these trainings on machine learning, but I had experience on Python. I had never got a professional machine learning experience, but I used to learn machine learning on my own, like as a personal uh, hobby or project. So I was digging into machine learning, and then one thing led to another. I started delivering trainings on machine learning. I read more and then started delivering trainings, and then slowly, the interest grew in machine learning, and that's when uh, almost the entire of 2017 and 18, I used to just do machine learning primarily. Um, so yeah, right now at my job at Google, I don't do coding, I don't do programming. If you put in that terms, honestly, um, the I am in a role of program management where I design programs, I come up with strategies and execution of the programs, manage these programs in relationships with other stakeholders. But I keep on exploring machine learning even now. What are new things that are coming up? Bunch of experiments I do. I've not been able to get time to open source them as of yet. But yeah, sooner or later I will try and open them as soon as I get time for it. But yeah, I keep on experimenting bunch of those codes and stuff.
That's great that you're still kind of active in it, and you're trying to go through. Great. You, as you said, right, you have had experience like giving trainings, and so you also had experiences speaking at various national and international conferences. What has been your experience there?
So, so my fondest memory of so I had not given too many of international talks, um, but the fondest memory of the recent one, which is Gfs Sri Lanka. Uh, I can't forget that memory my entire lifetime. The first talk I gave was in Kathmandu, um, but the recent one on in Sri Lanka is the fondest memory. Uh, if you can give me a minute, my laptop battery is about to die, so I'll just plug
Sure,
it to.
sure, sure, sure.
Sorry.
Definitely. Okay, Sid will be back. Let's see. People you can put your questions in, and then we can take them towards the end. Also tweet about it, write about it. There's so much content that we are about to upload here today. Watch out for our social media channels.
All right, I'm back.
That was pretty sweet. That was quick.
So coming back, so within India, I had given a lot of talks in the last 2 3 years. It's been more than like 150 plus locations that I have given talks at. Um, Last year, I gave talks at a couple of DEFs. Last to last year, also I gave a couple of DEFs. So yeah, um, in terms of in India, the fondest memory was hosting DSC Summit last year, 2019 DSC Summit, India DSC Summit. So that was my fondest memory. Like I could actually reflect back on my journey. Like while I was on that stage, talking to the new DSC leads, I could just go back in time and think about when I was a GSA in 2014 and we had the similar summit. I was on the other side of the table, other side of the stage, and I was like thinking about it like uh, one day I would wish to be on the other side of it and talk to the new leads, and it was like a dream coming true at that point of time, like talking to those students, those PSC leads. So that is one of the fondest memory from the talks that I've given in India. Uh, there are a bunch of them, of course. Others like I've spoken at various IITs and NITs, so that was also an amazing experience. Like I've never studied at an IIT or NIT. So those who think that hey, only the, the students from IITs and NITs are considered, but it was a privilege when I spoke first at one of the IITs. So I had spoken at IIT Kanpur, Roorkee, Delhi, Triple IT, Allahabad, Triple IT Delhi. So it was a good experience in all. When you are speaking at an IIT or an IT, of course, well, you've never studied over there. Your parents always wish for it.
That was such a relatable feeling, right? I mean, when you said that so many dreams came true and you expected to be on the other side, and I could think of them. So many of my dreams have come true because I got the opportunity to be in the position that I am today. And it was always, I just used to think at these events how what would it be like to be on the other side, and then that has been true. And then the other feeling as well, that going to colleges and being able to talk to people in position where you never thought you would be, right? One of the fondest memories on those regard, that I was able to get back to my college to give a session, and that it was an entirely different feeling wherein my teacher was sitting to watch me give a lecture. So that was crazy, as talking about Kubernetes in an environment wherein, yeah, it's very different.
So true, so true. I spoke at my college after graduating, and believe me, like it's a total different feeling. Like you can't express that feeling at all. Uh, you have a different uh, experience altogether over there when you speak to like the batch which is about to graduate or your juniors primarily. Uh, so yeah, it's good in and all.
That's amazing. Definitely, all lovely experience. You were telling about the Intel Software Innovator Program. Can you talk a bit more about the program? And I guess you won the program. Like you've been regarded twice or thrice. I'm not sure, but it's more than it's at least two times. So what's the program about? What did you do? Um,
So it's very similar to the Google Developer Experts program, in short. So Intel Software Innovator program also recognizes individuals who are passionate about community doing bunch of amazing work in technologies like machine learning, IoT, cloud. That's where Intel recognized a few individuals, and I was one of them. And then based on the year-long contributions, they further recognize you as top innovator for that year. So I've been contributing in 2017 and 18 primarily. That's where I got the top innovator award for 2017 and 18.
that's amazing. That is definitely so right. That's great. So it's just a similar program, and is it on a specific domain or is it like
I am not too sure on the current structure of it. Honestly, like since I moved to a different job role, I've lost track of it. But back then, it was primarily segregated into various technologies like your machine learning, your IoT, your cloud, your networking, your I think even app development was also over there as one of the domains.
that's cool. You said that, yeah, I mean, now that you moved to the other side, so my next question is, uh, what? So I mean, I know you kind of expressed it earlier in your presentation, but what does a career in developer relations look like, and how does the other side feel to you now?
So other side, of course, feels good. There is no doubt about it. I have a bunch of interesting folks in the team, rather the entire team in itself. So the entire team is amazing to work with, and that's what makes the work more interesting too, day on day. We do have our own discussions and debates about various things, which is part of job. So it's completely okay. Uh, how does it look like? So developer relations, we engage with a lot of product area teams as well. We engage with TensorFlow team, we engage with Chrome team. So we have to understand from the Chrome mindset or from the product area teams what is it that they know, GDG, GDG Cloud, Google Developer Experts, DSC, and stuff. So we try and understand like what best we can give out to these students, these individuals, these communities that will impact their life. They can do more things with technology. So how can we come up with something more and better? Uh, so that's what we strive at. So there is one thing that I missed in the introduction of mine. If if you had talked about Build for Digital, if you've ever heard about Build for Digital India, that is one program that I'm again very passionate about. It's very close to me. From the journey it started off. The program basically started in partnership with the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MITI, Government of India, to help and enable student developers to build solutions that are impactful, that that like changes India's economic growth story, that are basically solving for India as an underlying characteristic of the entire program. So we come up with such programs, and give a platform and a stage to the young developers and innovators out there to build solutions using Google technology. So to come up with the entire strategic plan for it, how to execute it, and then execution, of course, is what we do.
Interesting. Um, that's Devrel, and I guess Devrel is also involved in a lot of phases. Globally, right? And in terms of putting new product features for it, basically being a connection between the local developer community or the developer community at large and the builders who are building them.
Yeah.
Especially, it's at Google, right? We have had people, I mean, developer advocates such as Ankur Kotwal or Priyanka Valia, Gadia come in at our, Yoshi Yamaguchi come at our Google Cloud Community Day 2019 last year, and those were some very amazing sessions. Right, people got to know people that they were literally learning from online, and then seeing them in person, interacting with them in person. It was entirely a different feeling altogether. Oh, great. Oh, cool. You've also mentioned that you have had an engagement with, I mean, you've been very active with the Head Start community, uh, right? And I'm assuming that it's a larger
Yeah.
startup ecosystem in general. What does the ecosystem look like in Delhi, and where do you see it going? And the other part of the question is, what is the Head Start conclave, and you know, and it as it was supposed to happen, what's the plan for that now?
Yes. So good one, and a bit controversial on the second part. So those who don't know, feel free to check out headstart.in. It's India's largest grassroots level organization, and in fact the oldest one, um, that is helping early stage startups and entrepreneurs get a platform and a stage and more visibility in terms of the ecosystem that we have in India and going beyond as well. There are more than 25 plus chapters in India and across. So abroad, outside India, we have one chapter in Helsinki, but rest of all of them are in India as of now. Now, if I have to talk about the Head Start Conclave, that is something like an annual get together. Think of it like an annual get together of startups. Like we bring in, or rather, I'll say like Diwali of startups. So we bring in all the startup ecosystem, like the best of startup ecosystem under one roof. That's what the plan was to execute sometime in March. But we had to cancel off the programs due to COVID-19 in the interest and safety of the entire population that we have. So we called it off. We thought of doing it in September. I am not too sure on the plans yet, so will not comment upon it. Maybe we'll think of doing it virtually, but initially we were planning to do it in person with roughly 2K attendees joining us for this startup event, where we'll have lots of talks, panel discussions. There will be a kickstart, which is an annual pitching contest. There will be mentorship sessions, workshops, demo booths, and stuff. So that's what Head Start Annual Conclave was. Now to talk about Head Start, what we do is we do these various initiatives like Startup Saturday, which was an in-person event before and a flagship one, of course. Every second Saturday of the month, we used to meet not just the team, the bunch of volunteers that we have, but we used to invite anyone and everyone to come and get some learning inspiration from the star worlds of startup ecosystem. So that used to revolve around a certain theme. Let's say on legal, let's say on marketing. So we used to bring in the best minds of legal and marketing from Delhi NCR, and we used to host these startup Saturday sessions. There used to be head start mentor sessions, which is now gone virtual. Earlier it used to be again in person, which was more of an indoor, closed door, one-on-one mentoring. So let's say each mentor will be assigned five startups. There will be three mentors in total, and they will do one-on-one mentoring, ask like specific questions around a particular domain. Uh, let's say PR, let's say go-to-market strategy and stuff. Uh, and if I had to talk about the startup ecosystem in Delhi NCR, of course, Delhi NCR is the biggest hub of startups. Like there are so many unicorns in this region. Uh, while Bangalore has always been considered as Silicon Valley of India and also the hub of startup ecosystem in India, but soon the shift has been moving to Delhi as well. Uh, we have been seeing a lot of startups coming out of Delhi now. I'll say like both Bangalore and Delhi are neck to neck in terms of the number of startups and the quality of startups as well. So yeah,
Great. Nice. I think I have one more question. I guess I jumped on to the
sure.
startup thing. Uh, It's about the GDE program. You've been managing
Sure.
this program for over a year now. What are some of the myths that you've heard around it?
Okay, good one. That's actually a good one. Let me take a crack at it. So, the myth number one: people usually think that GDEs is just a technology expert, which is incorrect. For the way I look at the program is GDEs are technology experts plus community contributors, so both go hand in hand. Uh, there should be a perfect blend of both the things, like technology plus community contribution, and there should be a clear motivation of why you want to become a GDE. GDE program, usually that's myth number two. People think of GDE program that hey, it, it will help me land up a new job, but no, it of course it does help you professionally, but that's not should be not that should not be the motivation about the GD program. It should be more in the lines of I've been contributing to the ecosystem. I want to reach out to more developers, and that's what the stage can help me. This program can help me, and that's what the program helps to reach out to a wider audience. That's myth number two. The third one is oftentimes this is kind of an imposter syndrome among many. We feel that hey, we are not there yet, but you never know. Maybe you are you have uh, that capabilities. You have done enough that Google can recognize you as a GD now. Maybe you can take a stab at it. So the best way is to fill up that interest form, and we will look into your contributions, your work, and that will give a fair idea of whether we should pursue you for further evaluation or not. So yeah, these are the three myths primarily. Fourth one is people often feel that hey, if I get
I guess
rejected,
a lot of people would have been expecting. I'm sorry, please continue.
yeah, just the last one. So people often feel that hey, if I apply, if in case I get rejected now, I would lose a chance, like I won't be able to reapply. That's not the case. Like you can reapply. There's no any timeline like when you should reapply, just based on the feedback that the evaluator is giving, interviewer is giving. That's where we let you know that what would be a good timeline: 6 months or 3 months or 12 months, whatever it is. So it's okay to it's okay to apply and fail and learn, and then work on the work on the feedback. So yeah.
That's definitely what I was again saying was that a lot of people would be having similar questions. And the one thing that I feel about the GD program, as you said, right, it's not a means to the end. It's actually a means to enable, again, people further.
Correct.
It's an amazing opportunity that puts you in place, and Google is actually enabling you with multiple resources that otherwise you would you know not have, like the general public does not have access to, so that you can go out and then uh, make the world a little better place more, right? And
Exactly.
we have been doing.
Exactly. So yeah,
Great.
we have
Yeah.
one question from Sagar. I can take this
Yeah,
one.
sure.
Sagar says, like, do you miss being a dev, working with Git or any other version control, resolving bugs? Sagar, honestly, I do miss that. I used to love resolving bugs, used to contribute to Git, uh, but that was on a professional front. I used to do that. I I still look for, maybe if I get a good, uh, maybe few years down the line, I might move to a dev role again. I don't know. I have never thought about it. But yeah, I do miss being a developer. Uh, at the same time, I have not lost whatever I have been doing. So uh, miss being a developer on a professional front, yes, but not on a personal front, of course. I'm still connected to the dev ecosystem somehow or the other.
Definitely. That's a relatable feeling. But it's kind of it's fine. This is a great role again.
Yeah.
Um, Great. Couple of questions more. We are moving towards the end. Where do you see the synchronicity between the developer ecosystem and the startup ecosystem? Because you've been on the both you've been on both sides, and what do you feel? What's it like? What would it take to bring it more connected? And how can people hop onto? The other question that was popped into my mind while you were mentioning about Head Start was, what is the eligibility criteria for all the sessions that you mentioned, that Head Start initiatives that are there? So
Eligibility criteria for?
for the various initiatives that Head Start undertakes.
Okay. All right. So first, let me take the first one. What is the sync between dev and the startup ecosystem? So one thing that the startups always look out for is excellent developers. So think of it. You are a developer. You need a job. So it's like a win-win situation. So someone, if you can connect the dots, uh, a developer always look out for an interesting, good paying, and a good learning environment, which they get usually in the startup ecosystem, is what I feel. While the startups, on the other hand, are always on the lookout for good developers. So as a community, a dev community or a startup community can, like, if they can think of joining hands together, somewhere or the other, they can come up with synergy, um, where there is a matching between the developers and the startups who are looking to hire. So that's where things can come together. Um, if I talk, taking to your second question, what was that?
What are the
Eligibility
eligibility
criteria.
criteria
Yes.
for the initiatives?
So for the startup Saturday, there is no eligibility criteria. Anyone and everyone is welcome. While for the mentor sessions that we are not doing virtually, earlier which we used to do in person, um, we look at the startup profile, what kind of startups are there, and if in case any revenue has been generated or not generated, what is the current stage. Primarily for the entire org, we look for startups who are early stage, pre-series or series A at max, because from the past experience, these are the startups, seed funded or non-seed funded, like who are bootstrapped, um, who are pre-series or series A. These require basically a hand holding to grow further. Once they are able to pivot from what they have been doing now, from their existing uh, platform, that's where we leave them. So it's just like a hand-holding part for the startups who are pre-series A or series A at max, to give them a lift to further climb the ladders.
Great. Um, Nice. Um, okay. We are moving towards, like, I have, okay, four more questions. Actually, three.
Okay.
What is something new that you have learned recently and you loved it?
Uh, can you elaborate, like, in terms of
What is
learning?
any the last thing that you learned new?
Uh, so that's a bit funny. So I used to I used to do graphic designing since 2009 around, but primarily I used to use Photoshop back then. Um, I I had I had done some graphic designing in Photoshop, like left it after like quick while, and then moved to Photoshop. So pretty recently, I started my hands again on the Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. So now I feel it's kind of like I have worked on Illustrator, but very short, like for a very short while. Uh, then I recently picked it up again and was facing some struggle. So I mean, used to help me out with that. And now I kind of like it the way it is, whatever it is.
Definitely.
So, yeah, but
And
on a dev side, I have not been able to do much. Just that on a ML side, so something I'm very passionate about is machine learning on edge devices, AI on edge, and that's what I am thinking of, like, doing more on it in future.
Great. That kind of maps out to through my next question. What is your near-term career plan? Like, where do you see, and what kind of what do you wait? I mean, what's your near-term career plan long term?
So honestly, I say this to everyone, and people usually laugh at it, like person who doesn't have a plan, what will he do? But I usually go with the flow. Uh, I, I I used to make plans, but I have stopped it after some certain time. Like last 2 3 years, I've been just going with the flow. Whatever comes, I just go. I don't think too much about it. If I feel that there's a good opportunity, I just take it forward. So I just go with the flow as and when it's coming up. No plans, honestly, for next 2 3 years also. For now, I just want to be here with developer relations team, work more, impact more developers is what I have in the short term. But I don't know what it is. So
I mean, that's relatable. It's yeah, go with the flow is is the motto. Nice, great. Last
yes,
question. Two more questions. Okay.
sure.
Um, So, I mean, as I was also saying, right, there's so many times wherein, as I mean, I as an organizer, right, there's so many times that I've really looked up to. What is your ideology? Where do you bring all those ideas from that really spin the entire thing around?
Okay. Uh, so I want to experiment a lot of things. So, sometimes I feel like if I can't do it, maybe you can try and do it. So I just gave out those ideas to you. So yeah, these are some random ideas. I spend quite some time, like a considerable amount of time on social media also. I analyze various platforms. So I've been seeing the analysis on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, primarily these three, and even on Insta, like how things work, what kind of content works, what kind of content doesn't work, what is the audience mentality, what kind of things you should do. So these are like kind of my own personal thoughts, analysis. So I just try and give it to you. Maybe you could try and experiment. I do some of them, like I do try some of them myself as well. But for a larger community, maybe it would make sense for you to try them out. So I just tell out to you, okay, these are some of my thoughts and analysis. Which maybe if I wouldn't have been in this job, I would have continued doing GDG Cloud New Delhi organizer role. Maybe I would have thought of doing it myself. But since you are the custodian of it, so maybe you can try and experiment. If it works, works. If it doesn't work, it's a learning. As simple as that.
There have been so many times, what should I do? And yes, it is coming with so many ideas. Like there's like a long list of hey, you can try all of this. Wow, why did I not think of this? And that's great. Thank you for that. Right. Last question. What is your message to the community?
Uh, it's a tough one. Like I honestly don't give any kind of a message. Like I'm not a messiah of sort. But uh, one thing I can say is like one thing I always try to do it in my life also. Just well, when I said go with the flow, I always do this try and fail concept. So it's okay to try and fail. There's no crying over it. There's no feeling bad over it. Like you failed. As I just said, like you try. If it works, good. If it doesn't work, of course, it's great. In fact, in that, so find a learning in everything wrong that has happened, and this really will take you to a longer goal. Like what I do is like I always like find goodness in everything wrong that is happening. So if it fails, I get a learning. So of course I do get disappointed at some point of time, but you have to come back like quickly. Like in just like everyone has their own time of coming back to the usual work mode or to usual life cycle, but you should do it as soon as possible. Don't wait for the last moment to happen. Come back, strive for it better. If you really want to pursue it, strive for it better. Like do more hard work on it. Sooner or later you will be able to. If you fail again, then also it's fine. Like, keep trying it. It's okay. There's no harm in it. So just keep trying and failing. Try and fail. And there's one quote which is like fail fast and iterate. So that's what you should always do.
Definitely. That applies, I mean, both sides, right? Even the
Yeah.
developer and the
Even for
startup.
the startup ecosystem, when it says, yeah, yeah, well, like fail, try, fail, and then learn from it and reiterate back. This is something that you should always keep in mind. It's okay. Like, there will be hard shortcomings. There will be challenges that you will face down the lane. So it's okay. Like, initially you would be passionate. You will lose track of it after some time, which is completely fine. But don't give it up. Just keep doing it. At some point of the time, it will come back.
Great. Um, I am done with my questions. I don't think there are any more questions that we have here. Um, are there any questions? No,
Mm,
there was one from Sagar.
yes, I took that one. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much
Great.
great.
Uh,
Great session.
I hope you enjoyed. Um,
I, of course, enjoyed it.
Right. Well, finally, I simply want to thank everyone for being with us for 2 years, and especially everyone involved, the team, the volunteers, the design team, the social media team, the people who come to attend, and people who have been very active within the conversations, who very actively been participating, professionals who have been continuously adding value, who have been speaking at events for us, Google for the support that they offer, and it's been an amazing journey for me as an individual, and I mean the community, the kind of feedback that we get. It really has been a different feeling. And so one thing that I forgot to mention was that the community collaborations that we have had in this time has also been an interesting phase. We've had last with Deaf is like we had 18 community collaborations, 17 DSC collaborations, and all these kind of collaborations that come in. That has been a very interesting journey. Uh, in Cloud Community Day again, we had eight communities joining us. There's so many people that we have gotten in touch with. So yeah, it's been a great birthday. There's a lot of content. It's been a packed day. So you'll just look out for our social media handles on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, and yeah, you'll definitely see some content coming um, in an hour or so. Yeah, I guess that's it from my side. Uh,
Yes. Thank you. Thanks so much, Renee. And keep doing great.
Definitely. Thank you. I guess,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank
Bye
you. Thank
bye.
you.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.